Oh, I only like the used
I
ones.
cannot afford the actual like Rogues, but they have these, which like people,
Fake Rogues?
they're not fake.
They've
They've just already been in a man's mouth.
Oh.
It's hard to find the ones that women have used. It's more men. But yeah, you can't tell the difference. They put it through some kind of filtration process. And there's still the same amount of nicotine in, apparently, which is weird. I figured it would all go away, but no.
You think it would?
And I use organically sourced reused Rogues. So these come from a trucker in Tennessee. His name is Carson Daly, not the host, but that just has to be his name. And he, yeah, like, you know, I'm supporting a
Can I
trucker's
touch the
family.
top?
Sure.
Just the top? Just the top, please?
Just this?
Yeah. Okay.
What? Why'd you want to touch it?
Why'd you stop me?
Well, I mean, it's weird. Why would you touch the top of another man's Rogue?
I don't know why you made it so difficult.
There's a lot of culture behind these things. You can't just jump into it. It's like the NFT world, man. Like this is deep.
Yeah.
Don't ever do that. Trust me, don't do that. I'm sure you've had this happen to you, and it used to really disturb me. Now it just seems funny, but do you remember as a child, you go to a friend's house and there's an assumption their parents have that you are aware of whatever the fucking weird familial rules are at the house.
Mm-hmm. Emilio?
Familial.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So like any given house has got some stupid hierarchy, some like stupid family rules, some like idiot fucking thing that they'd adhered to for some pathetic like 2 or 3 generations, and they think that's incredible. But the main thing is there's an assumption they have that everyone is aware of the Percoter families, you know, whatever the fuck they do before a meal.
Yeah.
You don't know what
You
it
don't
is, but you don't do it.
So you fucked up.
You
messed things
but
up
no one
somewhat.
told. There's no.
Right.
You give
Yeah.
me the sheet.
Yeah.
Give me the rule sheet when I come in, and I will try. But they don't do that, and so then you get that experience of a kind of formal family's disdain for you. You know what I mean? And you don't even know what the fuck you did.
Yeah.
That to me is one of the funniest things. There's a lot of people out there who have rules about the way one is to behave around them, but they never express that out loud.
Yeah. What do you got?
You have to learn it
Yeah.
via rejection. You've had that experience.
I had a cousin that was ousted from the whole family.
For what?
Well, Duncan, he crossed the line. He went to visit my grandmother and keep her company. Wasn't even his grandmother. It was his in-law grandmother. He married in.
And that was wrong.
No.
That part's good.
Yeah. Over there constantly, keeping her company. She was cooking. She's the matriarch.
What was her name?
Safta.
Safta.
Yeah, that's what we called her. Fanny. But Safta, it means grandmother. And he was like, oh, what are you cooking? And he looked in there. I was like, oh, wow. What the fuck? Did you just look under the pot?
Oh, no, he looked under the pot.
That guy's a piece of shit.
Did he really look under the pot?
Yeah.
Who was who witnessed this?
I guess my grandmother did.
And so we're just going to go off what she says.
We're going to believe her.
So he looked under the pot.
I mean, she could have just made something up from scratch just to get rid of him. But why would she? He's out there visiting her every day.
So how is this brought up? I mean, it was just her.
Oh, wow, that was great.
But no
Can't wait till
one's there.
Just her.
So what does she do? Like call someone, or
She was
she's
like,
get out of here.
Yeah, I'll be ready tonight. And then just like told everybody.
So did she get on the phone and say,
Yeah,
you
she must have
won't
called.
believe what he did?
This lunatic, crazy.
He looked under the pot.
You're making her Mitzi.
Oh my God. Softa, no, this can't be real. Are you sure? He looked, are you sure? I'm not crazy, okay?
She never went crazy. She passed, but she never went crazy.
Someone looks under my pot, I fucking know it. He's out.
He's out. We'll just be weird around him for the next 25 years.
Okay, so this event happens.
Yeah.
This is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. I'm assuming he was not aware.
Couldn't have
That
been.
you never look under the pot.
When I heard about it, I was like,
You didn't even know that was a
I
rule.
probably looked under her pot. Thank God she wasn't around. When I did, I was like, what's cooking? What's cooking? Oh, cool, those meatballs.
So who in the family was aware of the don't look under Softa's pot rule?
I guess everyone in the older generation.
Your dad.
Yeah.
So what did your dad?
He wasn't like, I've never heard of this. He was, I have heard of it.
What did he say about it though? Was he
I guess they're mad about he wouldn't have been mad about it, but I guess he'd be aware that you shouldn't have done it.
So, okay, if your cousin went to Softa and said, listen,
I just didn't.
I had no idea.
I don't think they ever told him. I think they just did that passive-aggressive thing. Where it's like, we're just going to be weird around you.
And so all of a sudden things are weird for him. And like, if I'm at someone's house, like I could easily probably come up with like 2 or 3 things. I'm like, okay, I know what I forgot to take my shoes off, dump.
Yeah, and it was too smelly.
Yeah.
Or like, anything.
I stepped on their dog. Whatever the fuck it is, you can come up with a thing. But that one, I'm never going to think I looked under her pot. Now, let me ask you this. I'm sorry, this is your Softa.
Yeah.
Are you sure she meant cooking pot? Because
You think under her dress? He looked under her dress?
Sounds like it.
That would be the right reaction for that.
No,
it's too subtle a reaction for that.
Yeah, that's too subtle.
Yeah. It wouldn't have been that because it's like, I guess I should actually be more mad about this.
Hey, Softa, let's see what's cooking under here.
I'm pretty sure.
You're looking under my pot. Dude, so that's exactly what I'm talking about. That, and for that to work, it doesn't just require like Softa with like some like rule that probably, if we keep going back generations, her reaction, they would look at her as like enlightened. They'd, like if you go way back, an ancestor could be like, well, didn't you cut his hands off? No. What? You're weak. You cut the hands off of those who look into the pot. You know what I mean?
Oh, right.
Like,
Yeah.
We've
You're just passive aggressive. That's not going to do it.
That one, didn't they know? That's a sin, a mortal sin. So, but for that rule to work, your dad and everyone in the family has to play this pot game. That's how the rules carry on. Is like the game would immediately end if everyone in the family is like,
we don't do that.
So what?
Yeah. Like if you have a gay brother or something and somebody's like, oh, I can't believe it. Like, oh, what? Shut up.
So what?
Yeah, it's fine.
That's the funniest shit about it is inevitably, like if you follow it, there's always some older person
enforcing these rules.
Enforcing the madness.
And they always tell you the rule in moments of you wronged it. They don't tell you the rules like, hey, by the way, just so you know, nice to meet you. If you're ever over at my house, don't look in pots.
Or your dad could have, someone who was like, thank you for taking care of this member of our family could have easily like, listen, I know some of this shit is going to be crazy, but with Softa, don't look under her pot. Don't raise an eyebrow as you walk out of the bathroom. Don't touch your underarms past 7. These are the rules of Softa.
You would have to know not only what she does, but what someone else might not be aware of.
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't be like, oh, don't punch her in the face.
Yeah, that's
you'd be like, I don't even bring that up.
That's like 5 generations ahead where you have to tell people that. You have to be like, please don't. Okay, here are the rules. Don't punch my grandmother in the face. Don't shove your thumb in her ass.
But you wouldn't even know what to tell somebody. You'd be like, hey, did you not wash your hands out of the bathroom? And if they're from like some dingy country, they'd be like, what do you mean?
Right.
No.
Right.
They'd be like, well, you have to. Be like, oh, I've never heard of that.
Yeah. It's crazy.
And you wouldn't think to tell them that.
You gotta wonder how many things right now in our society that we think are like, you must be this way.
Yeah.
Are just soft as pot. How many fucking things we're doing are just a contagion.
7.
Okay, let's go through them. Soft as pot. It sounds like it sounds like a Jordan Peterson book.
In Eastern Europe, you don't smile at people.
Okay, number 1.
They think it's shifty.
Don't smile. I
they
need
think
that.
You're gonna get
like
people
in
in
Russia,
trouble.
I've heard if you smile at someone, they will chase you down.
They'll be like, "What are you doing, dude? You're gonna draw attention."
Yeah, don't smile. So that's I know like if you sort of study Putin, he exemplifies that. Like he's like fresh out of the dentist's office, frozen fucking face, no matter what he's talking about. And okay, so I've heard that. Okay, there's one.
Isn't there like when you go to the Middle East, like it's like no touching shoes or something like that in front of somebody, or like
there's definitely a lot of like intense shoe rules. Like, in other words, like throwing your shoe at someone like that dude who threw his shoe at Bush. That is like the ultimate insult, to throw your shoe at someone.
That's an opposite one, because he thought it would have more of an effect. And Bush was like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
He goes, oh, in my country, I'm massively insulted you. And he goes, oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Like, I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care.
At all.
Like, what?
What the
You're not going to try to kill my family for this? Like, for what?
For what?
You missed.
It's annoying. It's like what my toddler does every day. Who cares? You know, so there's those. There's, I know there's like,
I was badgering TSA one time, and they were like swabbing me down when I was like opting out, getting real mad and swabbing me down. I was like, isn't this insulting what you're doing in your country? Touching my shoes like that? Isn't that like demeaning for you?
You said that?
Yeah. I was just being a cunt. But
you're so mean to TSA.
I know. I've calmed down. It was a long time ago.
But you went through a period of like, it's the Marquis de Sade coming through the fucking, you hated it.
I had to readjust from never doing it to like, it's just a fact of it.
I have a few friends who still get super steamed at the TSA. It triggers their anti-authority, the part of them that they don't generally have control over, and it just comes out. And you see the TSA agents, they've been through it so many times. Yeah. Nothing phases them anymore. They don't care. It's us versus them at that point. Yeah, they don't give a shit. You just see every single person going like that, and like scanners. I'm like, this sure seems like a fucking modern like Germany. It is. You know, like, like a tyrant. It's 100% what it is. Yeah. It is so insane. And I think about it all the time when I go through it, because like, if you think about it, like an airport is really like an Orwellian shopping mall. It's a shopping mall. You've got to get all your shit scanned, retinal scans, so that you have access to generally a pretty degraded experience compared to what flying used to be, right? So, and that's a hacky premise. Everyone knows that. But like, remember that South Park where someone invents a new form of transportation? Can you pull that up, man? It's South Park, new form of transportation instead of flying. You got to. It's one of the funniest South Parks of all time. Check this out. I don't know how much of this we can play. I think if I chant over it, we're allowed to. Maybe find the video. Oh, there it is. A new way to travel right there. Oh. Remember this? I remember it. Everyone's so excited.
At incredibly fast speeds and not having to go to the stupid fart-face airports. That sounds incredible, Mr. Garrison. It is incredible, Mr. Hat. And what makes it possible is its patented gyroscope design.
This is so fun.
Gentlemen, I give you it.
Ooh, nice.
Sleek. It gets over 300 miles to the gallon and is safely capable of
See if you
speeds
can
of over
skip forward to someone riding it.
Yeah, they're riding it. It's coming soon. Yeah, there it is.
There we go. Now, the final flexi grip is directly in front of the driver so that small switches can be operated with the mouth, as such. Put the four together and we're ready to go.
And it ruins the airlines because everyone would rather do that.
We'll get fucked up the ass and have to blow a machine than to have this guy like, I'm using my back of my hands. Sometimes I tell him too, I'm like, it's fine, just do it. I get it. If like my vasectomy sometimes goes off.
Oh, why? It has metal in it?
No, it's like a little peanut. So in the scanners.
Oh, they see a little.
There's something in there. And I'm like, it's
what do you think it could be? Like, what technology do I have?
Yeah. It's like, in my dick. But they're like, just do it. I'm like, I have to say the whole thing. I'm like, come on, I want to get out of here. Just do it.
Yeah. Just, oh, yeah, they have to say. You're like, I don't care.
Yeah, I know.
I've surrendered to the fucking demiurge. I've given up. I know that Satan is the Lord of the earth. You're just an orc, and you're going to fucking molest me in some way, and I'm going to take it because I need to get somewhere. And that you've lodged. It's the classic, in all fairy tales, it's the archetype. Wherever there's a bridge, a troll emerges. And so this is the modern bridge troll. It found a place where like you have no choice.
You got no choice.
No choice. You got to go fucking through. And so it's like, and the bridge troll has evolved. It's incredible, the evolution of the situation.
Well dressed. They were uniforms, troll uniforms.
Well, God help you if you forget that you have water in your backpack. You might as well look under softest pot. They're like, do you have water in your backpack?
It's the dumb rules. It's those rules. And you're like, oh, shit. Actually, I want to keep the bottle. So I'll pour it out. And they go, no, you got to go through again. I was like, oh, okay. Can you just put it in? Like, no, you have to leave security and go through the line again. And you're like,
must. Punishment, bitch.
Why?
No.
You have to go with your smart water bottle.
Out. My God. My God. My God is a God of love, but my God wanted me to not have hair. And that's fine. I chose the path of the bald. But some of you out there who might be losing those precious protein strands springing from the top of your head might be freaking out, man. I did before I decided to get rid of it completely. I thought about a lot of different solutions, and here's one for you. If you don't want to shave your head as your dearest friend has done, why not try Hims? Hims provides you with convenient and quality access to a range of hair loss treatments that work, all from the comfort of your couch. Hims makes treating hair loss simple with doctor-trusted options and clinically proven ingredients like finasteride and minoxidil that can regrow hair in as little as 3 to 6 months. You could choose from personalized chewable, oral, spray, and serum treatments to find what works best for you. The process is simple and 100% online, so there's no uncomfortable doctor visits. You just answer a few questions, and a medical provider will determine if treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your treatment is sent directly to you for free. No insurance is needed, and one low price covers everything from treatments to ongoing care. Hims has hundreds of thousands of trusted subscribers, and they can help you get your confidence back too with visibly thicker and fuller hair. Start your free online visit today at hims.com/Duncan. That's HIMS.com/Duncan for your personalized hair loss treatment options. hims.com/Duncan. Results vary based on studies of topical and oral minoxidil and finasteride. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. And Hims, if y'all are watching this, I said him. I don't know if I'm the best mascot for hair loss treatment, or maybe you're like, if people see what happens when you shave your head, they will definitely order our product. And this is some kind of humiliation ritual. Either way, I'm happy to help you out. Hims, give it a shot. Do the loop again.
Fine, throw it out. I'll just spend $6 on a water.
Yeah, they get you.
And it's like, it's mildly discomforting when they touch your dick. So I'm like, I just want to let this out of my mind as fast as possible. Let's not extend this.
Yeah.
It's kind of gross. It's like a little too pressury on my penis. It's not fun.
Whatever, and I hope you didn't, but if you learned any kind of like survival skills as a child when someone was touching your dick,
to move away from
you
it.
apply now, or just to go to sleep, disassociate.
Yeah.
You apply
Happy
that
place.
to the TSA, and then like when you get through, and they search your fucking bag, and you're sitting there, you know nothing's in your bag, and you're watching the diligence with which they're searching your bag, but once my bag got picked, and they're like, "Do you have a dagger in your bag?" And I remembered, yes.
Oh, but that...
I had a beautiful knife someone gave me.
It's a fighting dagger.
This incredible. It's
an ancient fighting dagger.
This is a guy who was like into martial arts, and he gave me this fighting dagger that like you could flip it out really fast.
Like, I do have that.
It's for fight. And I'm like, remember, like, oh yeah. And then you're like, what do you say? Like, you see, my friend is a respected martial artist, and he felt like he said every bee should have a stinger. And, you know, it's true. Like, I don't think anything's wrong with having this, though I doubt I would survive a knife fight because I've heard the best rule for a knife fight is like run away.
Run, yeah. Don't
engage.
Lose.
But anyway, this was a dear friend who gave it to me. I'm wondering, could I move on through with my fighting dagger? Because
Yeah,
I'm
going to put it on a shelf when I get home. I think it'd look great. I think you can see that dream.
No intent to use this knife during my travels in the airport, though it might seem like that. No, if they're taking your fucking dagger, and they're like, I'm pretty sure that gets you on the random search list.
You should be as like, hey, so I wasn't going to use this for anything. Can you just put it like underneath the plane or something? Give it to me on the way back? Because I'm allowed to have it in the front of the airport.
You got to go out and you got to you can put it in your bags. I'm so sorry. This is rude rule. You got to go, but you got to do the loop. So if you fuck up, if you want to get your water to wherever you're going, do the loop, put it in your bag, you bitch. If you want to get your fighting dagger,
it's like a Candyland game. You got to do the loop now. Like, well, it's like the rule is, if you have a water, you do the loop. If you have a shoe, that shoe's allowed to go. 2 shoes, you do the loop.
That dude, and so so then, because we spend a lot of time traveling.
Yeah.
So you do use your comedian brain to deconstruct the airport. And I do that. So it's not just that to get through into the garbage shopping mall, because even the best airports are like the worst shopping mall. You're going to find a Spanx. You're going to find like what, God, this airport spa. Do you do those?
No, I've seen them. I will do the massage chair, but not the spa. The spa's crazy. You're getting massaged at the airport?
The spa is
no way.
Craziest shit I've ever seen.
You're going to take clothes off at the airport?
Dude.
Let them touch your feet?
Dude.
You've done it?
I will never do Be Relax. And that's the name of the spa. It's like someone, it's Be Relax. Duh. It's Be Relax. And you see these fucking people hunched over the shitty, publicly getting massaged in an airport with the sounds of an airport, which always suck. Like the next time you're at an airport, just listen to the sounds of an airport. It's like, flying get canceled. Get out of the way. Like, that's the sounds of an airport. You're getting massaged to that shit. The fact that, like, how does that relax you?
Yeah. Boarding at 17? Boarding at 17? Now I'm like, I'm at 34. Why am I here in this one?
Dude. That is one of the interesting subsections.
They crank those announcements like commercials.
Oh, they love doing them. They love it. That's their show.
Yeah.
That's their hell show. And they love it when they're like, if you're seated in rows, get bag, we gotta get 40 bags or we can't take off.
Here's a fun one. You're in group 2. Okay. And you're like, or let's say you're in group 3. Yeah, let's say group 2. It could work for group 3 too. And you're like, okay, I got to get on there. But everyone group 1, they already sat the fucking faker tards.
Yeah.
They sat all the old people, all the military.
Yeah.
And now you're like, we're running out of top space for sure. And you know they're going to be like, we're going to check this. You're going to have to wait in line. I know you got to go straight to your show. You're not going to be able to do that if you don't get it up there. So you're like, all right, I'm waiting. Group 1, you wait, and group 1 goes first class, then group 1. You wait. And it was like, you don't want to bunch the line. And they go, okay, now boarding group 2, now group 3. Group 2, 3, group 4. And you're like, no, don't do it. Wait.
You didn't get in there fast enough.
Yeah.
They didn't leave the space for the medallion. Group 2 is medallions. That's something you revealed about yourself. You're a medallion member.
No, that's group 1.
What? On Delta.
And you want to be able to, what are you? Move them.
Yeah,
but you can't have
you don't want to do that. You know someone's in front of you, and like they're that's not their group.
They create a wall around the end of the line, so you can't access the end of the line.
You know what they call them?
What?
They call those airport lice. So the lice is so what happens is mass psychosis happens and a contagion happens because some neurotic dude on speed jumps up immediately when they're saying, like, we will board in 30 minutes. But he's in there. He's not even in the first group, but he needs to stand. And then other people see him standing, and then that gets the competitive frothing thing going. I am actually in group 1, and I know that dude is not. So I'm going to go ahead and move up here. And then a cluster
Yeah.
of fucking. And I'll tell you a new thing I've encountered on the airline. I don't know. I'm dishing on airlines.
They're taking no prisoners.
I want to know if you've noticed this or not. The morning yappers. Have you noticed this?
No, what do you mean?
It's happened it used to be in the morning, the early flights. It was quiet. People would sleep. But the last 4 flights, inevitably, it's women. Or a woman and a man. Or a man and a man.
But women.
But a mix of people. Yeah. You could be on a 2.5-hour flight. And from before it takes off to when it lands, they're not just talking.
Loud.
They're like talking. And they like
Because they got to get over this. So they raise their voice.
Yeah. And then I saw him. I told him, you better get your colonoscopy, but he didn't listen. And they found so many polyps. It was like a garden of polyps down there. I saw the pictures and I just couldn't believe it. Oh my God, did they remove the polyps? Well, the scissors that he was using to cut the polyps got stuck in one of the meaty polyps. And then there were these tiny little elf scissors stuck in a polyp. So now he's got to go in to get the scissors removed.
This is the only defense for that. You're talking, the only defense is like, that's it. That's all you can do. It's like,
you can't, you can give them a scornful look.
Yeah.
But that's like giving a vampire a glass of blood. They love it because, they're getting off on people turning around.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
Or you think they're just totally in their own world?
I think
completely solipsistic to the point where they're like, I don't know, what are they turning around about?
Okay, this is
something behind me?
Here's a superstition I have, and I think it makes me veer towards cynicism.
Okay.
I always think if someone is doing something like that, or just, in a cafe, watching a movie with no headphones, I feel like at some level they are acutely aware that what they're doing sucks, and they persist in doing it as a embarrassing flailing against their powerlessness and inevitable demise. It's sort of it's like
that they're doing it on purpose or just innately.
They're doing it on purpose because it's like it's some kind of stupid, dumb war they're waging against their species, and it's a kind of like asymmetrical warfare, which is like, I'm just gonna fucking listen. I'm gonna watch The View. I'm gonna watch The View in Starbucks on my iPad, loud as it can fucking go.
It's a pretty good social experiment. It's like antisocial, but not so aggressively that no one can say anything, just to walk the line. Yeah. It's pretty fun. Actually makes you actually want to do that more now.
Dude, well, you see, in between your great-grandmother's...
just grandmother.
Your grandmother's crazy-ass pot rule. And like...
He was showing our interest.
And like actual
like, let me see. That's
laws that we need.
Yeah.
There's an entire universe of things that there are no laws for and that society as a whole has to police. Farting in an elevator.
With aggressive looks.
And that's all we do now is aggressive looks.
There's an art piece about a slightly antisocial behavior. And so they have somebody go to work in an office and they don't work there, but they're a new hire. I think they get a job for the art piece and then they just don't work. Or they have it in with the boss and they just sit at their desk and just kind of stare.
That's cool.
Or just stare out the window. And then people are like, hey, do you need help with anything? They're like, no. Just get my thoughts together. And they just keep doing, and it makes everyone so upset.
Oh yeah.
Because they're like, why isn't she like doing, but like, I don't even know what her job is, but like, it's just like, that's not right. Standing the wrong way in the elevator.
Dude, that is insidious. People like, that's culture jamming. That's fucking cool. That's real. I've thought about this before someone must have done this by now, but minimum wage, it sucks. It's yeah. Like, what is minimum wage? Like, what's
it's gone way up since we were.
What's the average?
I think. $7. Oh,
what's the average minimum wage? Let's look that up.
Of all the states, average minimum wage.
$7.25.
So low.
So, in Texas,
same as a federal. Okay, wow.
You're getting $7.25 per hour. So,
Same since 2009.
That's
16 years.
So what does that come out per month?
Hold on, I know this. Oh, I remember. I don't know. It's like $7,000 a year.
$1,218 a month, and then what's that after taxes and all that? Anyway, the point is
12, 18. So it's $8,000 a year they'll make after taxes. What?
No,
that's the average income.
Yeah.
You'll make after tax. You'll make about $8,000 or $9,000 a year. They'll tax you less, but that's about it. That's what you can make.
This to me is like right now the thinking when it comes to like opening up a Starbucks, franchises. The thinking is, well, I'm going to open up. I have the money to invest in McDonald's. I don't know how it works when you get a franchise, but this is one of the reasons why like huge swaths of our country have just turned into some kind of like horror show of just, weird franchises everywhere. Sprawl is what they call it. It's just, little fishing boats on the waters of capitalism. You throw your fucking franchise out. It's a fucking donut shop. It's guaranteed to make X amount of money, minimum wages this month. That's how you invest. So like the assumption
that's Blank Street Coffee. They make it look like an independent coffee shop because the investors that went into it did the market research. Like make it white walls, make it look like that.
Bro,
we'll use the shittiest bean, but they'll think it's good beans.
People just wander in. They won't know it's some shitty franchise. They'll have no idea.
Blank Street is all corporate venture capitalists, whatever. And it's made to look like something your neighbor runs.
Bingo.
Yeah.
That's so brilliant. That's so fucking brilliant. And someone could compete with them by making theirs seem even more authentic, and that's going to be probably a new thing is like increasingly authentic coffee shops until.
Yeah. How's the coffee? It is the worst in America.
Horrible.
Yeah. The lowest level.
Horrible.
Never go to a Blank Street. Hey, everybody.
Okay.
Public service announcement. Next time you see a Blank Street, loot it.
I'm going.
Oh.
Sounds perfect. I don't care. I'll take the placebo effect.
Yeah.
Remember
Facts.
in LA,
yeah,
that pretentious ass coffee shop opens up, Intelligentsia.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that
What a good
shit?
name. Nick Yusuf was all over it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you'd go to Intelligentsia, work on your screenplay. And the baristas there, they dressed like they should be like pirates or you know what I mean? They were such deep hipsters or blacksmiths, pirate blacksmiths. And and you remember that? Yeah. Fucking like crazy leather aprons and handlebar mustaches. And dude, they could look at a man.
And then the compliments would be like, nice pull. Thanks. They wouldn't just say, like, good coffee.
The pull.
Oof.
I remember hearing someone say, nice pull. Dude.
That's all they're saying is, I know the code words.
Exactly. Because if you didn't know that shit, they would recognize you as a fucking, just an apostate. Like, well, go to Starbucks. What are you doing here? Go to fucking Dunkin' Donuts, bitch. Why are you pretending you have the taste buds that could even experience?
Give another lingo, asshole.
Oh. And you'd get the coffee and like feel completely insecure. But when you consider like how easy it would be to build a coffee shop and just make people for minimum wage dress like blacksmiths
yeah,
and rename the coffee like stupid fucking names. It's just Folgers.
Yeah.
You just
you could fool everybody.
No one would know. No one would know. People would be like, "Oh my God, this place is incredible! Thank God." When
Also, who would tell? Like, if you've been there more than once, you know the cat burglar forced sex thing.
No.
So cat burglar, you know what that is?
Yeah, of course.
If they break in and they're caught, they don't want violence. They don't want like whatever.
No.
They'll get told on. They're caught, right? You're hoping just to get in and out. If you wake up like, what are you doing here? My only defense at this point is to have sex with your bud against your will. And if I can do that, you're not going to the cops.
You should never become a cat burglar.
Yeah.
Like that is.
You won't go to the cops. You'll be too embarrassed. That's my
I will
only
go to the cops, friend.
Oh, really?
Yeah, go ahead. Fuck my ass.
What are you going to tell them? You love it?
By the way, make my day. Sure, I do love it. I love it when I get fucked.
That's the problem. Now as homosexuality becomes so increasingly like accepted, that tactic might not work
That's
for
how you
capitalism.
defeat.
I realize now that's a 25-year-old reference I'm giving you.
Yeah.
That's from my like phone days at the Comedy Stores when I heard that. So it might not apply anymore.
Easily defeated.
Yeah.
Easily.
Lead
Well,
with the butt.
go ahead. Can I suck your? Do you care if I suck your dick first?
Put down the TV and come get blown.
It's literally. It's for sure a genre of porn. I've seen that porn, where it's like someone happens to like rob the house of these two like just fucking hot, horny women who are like, you want to rob our house and you're going to suck our feet and suck our pussies.
Oh, no.
And he's like, no, please.
Call the cops, suck that feet.
Yeah.
Anyway, dude, so you have people, one of those types of, I know good coffee. Turns out you've been drinking Folgers for the last 3 months, 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And you were saying to all your friends it was good.
Good. You said good pull.
You said good pull.
You said good pull to somebody who just got fired from stocking shelves at Target. And we were like, I don't care. Do you know how to make Folgers? Just fucking make Folgers.
Who are you going to report it to? You're that guy who nobody. You're going to keep it quiet.
You're just going to bitch about it. Maybe you'll leave a like salty Reddit comment.
You can't let it get out. If you get it out, you're exposed now.
You got fooled.
You actually have to murder anyone who might expose it.
That you are exposed forever. You will never be. You will walk into an actual intelligentsia and people will laugh.
Yeah, you can't let it out.
So that realm, the place where you can't really do laws for so many things. It is the assignment of the individual to not allow people to do these things. And you know what I mean? Because the more you
have to
let
tell
it,
somebody.
you have to. Well, this
break
is
social code. Make a connection.
So this is where you run into.
Yeah.
This is where a fork appears in the road. So now on one side of the fork are seekers of vengeance. Now these are the people who, when cut off in traffic, feel like it's their job to get revenge.
Mm-hmm.
Tailgate the dude, cut them off,
hurt them,
even it out. So that's one branch. And these people, it's like, what do they call it? Quixotic. It's pushing the ball. It's like a maybe noble pursuit, because in their minds they're like, if I do this, perhaps the person will stop the behavior.
but they won't. They'll just extend it right now.
It's shoveling shit against the tide.
Yeah, that's even if you shush someone at the movies. Like, hoping if I get shushed, I'm embarrassed. But a part of me is like, don't shush me. And so you're hoping they don't go, shut the fuck up, old man.
Yeah.
And you're like, damn it. Now I got to sit here uncomfortable for the rest of this movie because they're right behind me.
Yeah.
They might start throwing peanuts at me.
Probably.
I can't do shit.
Helpless.
Yeah. I had to go full fight at a theater.
At a theater?
Yeah.
Ugh, how embarrassing.
In front of this kid I just abducted and I'm trying to entertain him for once.
Dude, and like or get his respect.
Yeah.
And how are you going to get his respect if you get knocked out by some high school kid?
Hey, that's a good idea. Side note, what is
Side note?
Yeah.
Sidebar?
Sidebar. So I know you got kids, right?
Yeah, I do.
You like to impress them. You
course.
want their respect.
Yeah.
Let's set it up, bro.
Oh, the classic?
You shut me up in a movie. What are you going to do about it? And I'll let you slap me in the face. Or if you want to go nonviolence, you can use one of your Buddhist mind tricks. You know?
I like that.
Yeah. And then get me to be like, I'm really sorry. And I'm really sorry to you, son.
I would rather do this.
Yeah.
We don't, because now you're talking budget.
I can cry.
We got to buy movie tickets.
Yeah.
I got to get the kids into a fucking movie. There's not a lot of great kids. Here's what we do.
Yeah.
You go to a cafe.
Okay.
So Starbucks.
Folgers Cafe.
One near our house.
Okay.
I will bring the kids in. We will act like we don't know each other. They don't know you yet.
Okay.
I will point to you. You can be writing or whatever. And I'll say, guys, this is something I can do. And it's not great, but you should know what powers your father has. And then I snap and you go down.
Yeah.
So they
Or
think
just
I can and then we could have someone else run up who's our friend and be like, I'm a doctor. Oh my God, he's dead. He's dead. And then I can go, no, he's not, doctor. You're back to life. And then I'll be like, kids, we got to go.
You got to tell this to them either while you're driving, not when you walk in, when you're driving, and then like, you just know I'm going to be there.
Yeah, no, it's kind of like.
Oh, that'd be nice, bro.
If their behavior is,
that'd be nice. Then, right. Don't make me do this
a little
to you.
bit. Just be like, guys, I would obviously never do this. You're my children. but this isn't the only thing I can do, but I'm going to just show you something I can do. And yeah, let's just go to this cafe. It only works on Jews.
You got to set it up just natural. Oh, this is like great, just prank now. Oh man, so you got to set it up ahead of time. It's like I can do this to Jews. Yeah, it's a thing I can do.
I'm not
Whatever.
going to bring that up.
Weeks before, whatever, and then you see a day or two before. Then the next day, I'm at that Starbucks, and it's like, oh, I wish that guy would not be in that chair.
Yeah.
Oh, so we could all sit down. I'll get a table, you know. And they're like, oh, it's okay, Papa. Well, I'm sure your kids are Austrian. It's okay, Papa. We'll go to another one.
Yeah.
And you go, no, I wanted that one. And you're like, no, it's okay, Papa. They'll kind of have forgotten about and you're like, I'm going to do the thing. And they go, what? Are you just down? Like, Papa, no.
Yeah.
Papa,
I love
no.
it.
Doctor comes in, rushed.
Yeah.
However they react.
Yeah.
What if they go, nice, we want that table.
Yeah.
Don't bring them back.
Dude, or what if they start looking at everyone in the restaurant and snapping?
They can't do it
They
yet.
just want to kill them.
You can't just be a wizard. You got to go to Hogwarts first.
You know, that is a level of like primordial savagery in little boys. Like we were walking on the beach, beautiful beach. And there's I don't know, a beautiful shorebird. I don't know what kind. I don't know birds. Beautiful though. And
birds are not real.
I know. And this episode of the DTFH has been supported by my longest running supporters. My God, I love you, Squarespace. Thank you for putting applesauce in my baby's mouth and also for creating an incredible tool that I use to this day. It's amazing. Go check out DuncanTrussell.com. I shouldn't have to say anything else. You will see a beautiful website. It's got my stand-up dates. It's got my podcast, it's got my shop, and it was all created using Squarespace's powerful suite of high-tech, pre-singularity tools. It's got an AI now. It's crazy, the world that we're entering into. My God, it's great. You know, when I think back to, like, the days where I thought, you know, I guess I have to learn HTML to build a website. And you just realize, like, that's never going to happen. I can't do that. This is a nightmare. And then you're like, I'm going to find a web designer. Oh, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Wake up screaming, covered in sweat, fierce sweat, stinking from the dreams I still have of working with web designers back in the late 90s. My God. A lot of them, you know, they couldn't even walk. They just slithered around. They didn't have legs. They were half serpent, half men, long beards full of lice. They ate raw onions. That's it. They would just inject amphetamines into their neck right in front of you and then wouldn't listen when you told them what you wanted to build for a website. And then they would show you what they built and it would be horrible. And then they would ask for more money than you can imagine. A gold mine. Some people would have to pay them in gold mines and they'd slither off in the mine and live in the gold. They didn't even like gold. They just liked shooting amphetamines up in the dark. We don't have to do that anymore, friends, thanks to Squarespace. Now you can do it all yourself and it's quick, simple, and what I really love about it is it's as complex as you want it to be. You want to take a deep dive into web design technology, you can do that. You want to build a website in an hour or two, no problemo. You want a paywall for your dearest fans, you can do that with Squarespace. They've got everything you need to start an online shop. And of course, you can get all your socials popping up on your website. No problem. It's all there for you waiting. Listen, don't take my word for it. Try it out for free. Go to squarespace.com/Duncan. And when you're ready to launch, which you will be, use offer code Duncan to get 10% off your first order of a website or a domain. Again, it's squarespace.com/Duncan. Offer code Duncan to get 10% off. I salute you. my kid, he looks at the bird, and I'm thinking he's about to say, "God, the beauty of nature." And he's like,
majestically.
he goes, "If I hit it with a rock, can we eat it?" It's like the most beautiful bird, and he's hunting.
How old is this kid?
Well, at the time he was probably 4.
Wow.
And he was just thinking about eating, hunting. He was hungry. But to get back to the earlier unsidebar. So when you realize that the world that we're living in, if you're one of those people who's decided to be and I'm really interested in your thoughts on revenge, but it seems to me if you're a person who is trying to take minor vengeances on people breaking social norms or norms that you think they understand, I feel like your life is hell.
Hellish, yeah.
It's got to be a hell life.
You're a hangman.
You're yes.
That you don't just walk away clean from that.
No, and I'm talking about this because
I'm guessing
the new Count of Monte Cristo. Gotta watch it. It's fucking great. I love the book. You know the book?
Yeah.
Great book.
Revenge tale.
It's the best revenge tale ever.
You see The Heiress?
No.
Sidebar. It's a good one. Black and white. Watch it with your chick.
I'll check it out.
Good old movie. It's like an hour and 10.
It's my wife.
Yeah.
I don't call her that.
I call her that. Hey, Duncan, thanks for bringing your chick. And she's like, can you please? I've known you for like a decade now. And I'm like, your chick's talking.
Listen, man. I go,
hi, chick.
Okay, sidebar.
Sidebar.
Yeah. I want to invite you to my toxic masculinity seminar.
Ooh.
I've been doing these in Costa Rica.
Okay. Romania's a better spot for it.
Romania, they've outlawed them.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
They recognized what a threat
they work too well.
They are to the patriarchy.
Okay.
And when I went to one of these, and I had no idea how much I was just filled with toxic masculinity from top to bottom.
Oh, I thought it was a seminar to get you toxically masculine. You're saying it's to teach you about it.
Man, I know you're a comedian. I respect the craft and art of stand-up comedy, and I know that every single thing you want to turn into funny.
Okay.
But the truth of the matter is, like, if you had just been bitten by a rattlesnake, I don't think you'd be laughing. And I'm telling you, you have been bitten by the snake of the patriarchy, injected with generational trauma, and we extract it. We pull it out, and I have seen this happen so many fucking times, and I always cry when finally you break through the resistances that surround a man's pocket of toxic masculinity. And you see it happen. I'm sure you've heard of what happens. Explosive orgasm. I have seen jizz rip through a man's underwear. And the jizz is always black or green or purple or some combination of these colors. It has giant sperm in it. It's like not microscopic. You can see them like when you look at a cocoon pulsating in the mucousy brine. And then they fucking scatter, dude. That's in you right now. Does that seem funny, Ari? Is that something to laugh about? You have a pulsating pustule filled with toxic sperm that are exponentially larger than your regular sperm. Why would you laugh?
That's a deeper question. I was thinking about what did you call it? Intergenerational trauma?
Yes.
I asked my dad about that, and he said he doesn't believe in it because there's no proof of it anyway, because it goes all proof of that would have been lost during the Holocaust, so he doesn't believe in it.
There is proof of it. Epigenetics used to be considered junk science. I'll send you an article. You could fucking one-up your dad. What you should do the next time he's cooking, go lift up the pot, put it down, and then show him this fucking article.
Main bar.
Yeah, so the
sidebar.
Okay, unfucking sidebar. What are your thoughts on vengeance?
Okay, listen, you want to take it. It's not going to do your tactics. I was here in Austin hanging out, and one of my friends from Los Angeles was around, and they're politically, I'm a step back and watch everybody kind of guy. I don't fully care, he's from Los Angeles, so he's a little more left. He's a little more bubbly than some. And he's just not used to this is also a bubble here, you know?
Right.
So he's seeing it all, and he's like, they're all this and this. And I'm like, first of all, I just know, I get it from your side. I can see what both of you are saying about each other.
Yes.
You're talking about your fringes, not your main.
Right.
You know? And he goes, I just think people should leave trans people alone and live their lives. I'm like, 90% of the right agrees with you. They all say that too.
Yeah.
But he goes, they're all rednecks and idiots and, you know, like dumb racists. And I'm like, they're not. I know them. Some of them are professors. That's just not true. And he goes, but they're this and this. I'm like, do you think your tactics are working?
Nah.
Do you think you're angry? And he was like, no, for sure not.
Doesn't work.
And I'm like, so what are you doing? So one time I was at Carney's. I just got my first cell phone. It was a brick. And I was talking, and I didn't know the right levels.
Yeah.
It's like you're here. So I was talking too loud.
Yeah.
And this lady, I was upsetting her meal. I just didn't know. So my friend's like, and then we'll later. I just didn't know how much you had to like.
Sure.
She's like, thanks for ruining my meal. She waited till way afterwards.
Vengeance.
And she didn't once go, hey, would you mind keeping it down? To which I would have. I know myself going, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Sure, of course.
But she chose violence, verbal violence.
Yeah.
And her tactics didn't work. She goes, thanks for ruining my meal. I go, shut up, cunt. Like, it brought it right out of me. I didn't even think about it.
What did she do?
Oh, and walked away. But it's like, your tactics were not working.
It didn't work. It
just made me fight.
Well, it's a little bit like
she wanted to be right, and she didn't want to correct the behavior.
You gotta, when you have kids, we got dogs. They're little dogs, but like you have to teach the kid. The kid doesn't know.
To poke the dog in the mouth.
Don't shove your face in the dog's face, or don't like reach into the dog bowl while they're eating. They're sweet dogs, but if you do that, you're just gonna. It's like I try to explain it to them. It's like a trap. You press the trigger on the trap springs, and in the inside animals, there's that trap. It'll spring. It's not that they hate you. It's just that they have tiny brains, and this is what keeps them alive. So yeah, people like your friend, they have some kind of like, I would call it a utopian vision of the world. They have an idea of how humanity could be. This is an American tradition. So many various utopias have been attempted here, and most of them fail. But the utopian visions of the past, they usually they're a little more like logical, rational. Get a farm. You know what I mean?
You need some enforcement, though.
Well,
someone's going to break the social laws.
Yeah. You can't. The change that the new utopian visionary seems to think condescension, ostracization, humiliation, and appeal to authority are actionable measures to take to create societal change in the world. And that is so dumb as a tactic.
It's bad tactics.
That it makes me think that a lot of the people who are angrily, I wouldn't call it real violence, but angrily, ungracefully sort of going through this loop of what they consider to be activism are afflicted with what's it called? When you're the dumbest person in the room?
Dunning-Kruger.
Dunning-Kruger. The people, of course, when you consider, the Dunning-Kruger effect, the dumbest person in the room thinks they're the smartest person in the room because they're so dumb.
They don't even know.
They haven't gotten to the point of mid-level intelligence where you can recognize like, oh, that person's smarter than me. I'm actually pretty dumb. They're so dumb, they just think that they're brilliant. And then those people...
Got in a fight with an Uber driver. And a real estate broker, I was telling her what the real estate's like scene is like. And I'm like, what am I doing? she knows more than me.
Right.
This Uber driver was like, are you going to the Comedy Mothership? Because I was going there. And it was like, yeah. You ever been there? I'm like, no, I'm performing there. I go there all the time. It's like, is that the guy, the Joe Rogan guy? I'm like, yeah, that's a good friend of mine. And he goes, yeah, he does all these things. He used to be a UFC. I'm like, yeah, as a commentator. He goes, no, he used to like fight in the UFC. I'm like, no, he didn't. He goes, no, he did. I'm like, no, it's a friend of mine. He just definitely didn't. And he goes, he did. It's like, right, just too dumb to know. Like, well, I guess if the guy knows him,
Dude, I guess
he must know.
What I've started doing in those cases when I realize someone thinks something that's totally wrong and I know it's wrong.
Yeah.
Is I just go, yeah, whoa, that's nuts. And because who fucking cares? And again, what is your job to educate dumbasses about things they're wrong about, especially when they push back? You're just like, dude, that's not your job.
Or I love when you're like, you know what it is. You're like, bicycle day is April 19th, right?
Yes.
You taught me that. And so if somebody's like, oh, bicycle day is like March 19th, you're like, no, it's April 19th. And they're like, I'm pretty sure it's March 19th. Because they have it in their head wrong, but it's in their head. And then they're like, no, it's April. If it's a good friend of yours. And they're like, look it up. They're like, oh, it is April. And you're like, no, I know. I wasn't like doubting myself.
Yeah.
But they always give you this like, oh, look at that. You're right.
Wow.
I'm like, I know.
Thanks, Snopes.
So that's the Dunning-Kruger effect.
So the Dunning-Kruger effect, I would speculate.
It's called Dunning-Kruger effect.
You know, I do suffer from Dunning-Kruger quite a bit. That's why I think it's a quality that isn't the worst thing when you're podcasting, but I do feel like I have a general sense of like, not just how dumb I am, but also how I'm getting dumber. So I do feel like if I had the Dunning-Kruger effect, it's dissipating somewhat. But I think that a quality of being dumb is you parrot, you repeat sayings that make you seem smart. You don't look into what you're saying at all. You just say it because other people who are considered smart say it. For example, that's a really good pull. A dumb person sees that and is like, ooh, I'm going to say that because people will think I'm smart. Right. And they'll say, that's a really good pull. And they're like, whoa, dude. Okay, yeah. And he's like, I'm in. So the contagion whenever you see huge swaths of people regurgitating exact sentences that align them with what is considered to be the advanced, sophisticated way of being in the world, it could be that a massive percentage of those people is suffering from Dunning-Kruger.
Listening to a dumber person?
That they're dumb people imitating who people they think are smart or representative of the culture they want to align with, and they haven't even thought about what they're saying. They haven't looked into anything.
Reminds me one time when Trump beat Hillary Clinton, or she was running, and somebody was talking in New York, and they were like, "Oh, she's the most overqualified candidate," and I was like, "What do you mean?" And they're like, "She's overqualified." I'm like, "Can you be? Oh, not the most." She goes, "She's overqualified." I'm like, how can you be overqualified to be president of the United States of America? Yeah. And they were like, she was a senator and she was a secretary of state. And I'm like, so was the guy who lost before, like 2 ago. He was also a senator and a secretary of state. Like, who's more qualified? They're equally qualified.
There you go. You got him.
And then they're like, you see them see it for the first time. The disconnect between what they think is smart from listening to a smart person versus like, oh yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
And that's the other problem is it's like, so if we're going to look at Dunning-Kruger effect, there's going to be a spectrum of Dunning-Kruger. So on one side of Dunning-Kruger, you're going to have people who are so dumb, they think they're smart, but they're not even good at imitating the high-level Dunning-Kruger people. So that's the low end. Those are the people just on the fringe of being dumb again. But then as it goes up, that's where you get into like maximum Dunning-Kruger. These are people who are so good at regurgitating data and behaviors and like feigning confidence that they get elected, dude.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Because if you look at a standard politician, all they're doing is regurgitating the same weird phrase exactly at the same time over and over again. They just say the same shit over and over.
They don't read the bills. They get a breakdown. It's like, what do I say? I'll say that.
Someone else tells them what to say, which brings me as a sidebar. Can you look up alien telepathically controlling senator? Have you seen this shit?
Nuh-uh.
Anyway, the point is, like, it's kind of terrifying to imagine when you like analyze like people in power, how many of them are actually thinking about anything that they're doing, and how many of them are just like robots that are repeating behaviors and catchphrases.
Let me hear it. What did
Oh
they
wait,
say?
you have to look. This pops up on Reddit Conspiracy from time to time. Let's see. Person sitting behind senator controls what they say. It's really weird. I don't believe this is actually happening, but I mean,
But controls what the senator says?
yeah.
It's so great.
I hope it pops up. Again, we're dealing like this is Reddit Conspiracy, so like this could be on like you know what? Go to YouTube. You're gonna have to dig deep, or you're gonna have to go to X.
Oh, you got to take tools off. Go bad for your brain searches.
Yeah, you gotta like.
Oh, X. They won't. Yeah, they don't.
Just alien controlling senator, alien sitting behind senator.
You do a search like that on Twitter?
Yeah, there you go.
Into the record, page 55 from the committee's interview with FBI employees. Just have some administrative matters first. I wanted to introduce.
Now I'm pretty sure what's happening there is that might.
55 from
But
the
look, she's
committee's
saying what she
interview
said.
Yeah, she's saying what she says. I know what's happening there.
Is it a blind person?
No, I know it. It's her. She's too focused. She's an intern, and she has read the thing 1,000 times, and they all prepped her so much that she's like, Will Smith used to do this in Fresh Prince. He would mouth out the other person's, the first season. He'd mouth out the other person's lines.
No, dude, she's right. That's like a trusted advisor. Play it again.
First, I wanted to introduce into the record, page 55 from the committee.
Even the stammer.
With FBI employees. Just have some administrative.
But she said 50.
First, I wanted to introduce into the record.
When she says it wrong.
55 from the committee's interview.
So when she starts the wrong one, she's like, "Nope, you're fucking up the script."
Again,
That's when she turns her head.
I guess the point.
And the telepathy also.
So yeah, I guess the point here is like theoretically.
God, the eyes
you would
really sell it.
The person who is the congresswoman should not need some kind of Telexu Dune level mind shaper sitting behind her. And if you do have a mind shaper or whatever you call them, I'm sure there's a cool CIA name for them. Wouldn't you want them to sit off camera?
Sit off camera.
There's more examples of this. Keep scrolling down.
Matters first. I wanted to introduce into the record.
Same one.
There was one with Biden.
Oh yeah, that's a really fucked up one.
Can I see Guy's account? Guys here, yeah, check marked. Would it become the ungovernable?
Shh, the true test of liberty is the right to test it.
Blue Lives Murder. Oh, this guy's full on.
Do not be deceived, man. Oh, this is probably a guy who like goes into police stations with a camera, and like films them and then sues them.
Ugh. It's so funny when you actually look at their accounts once in a while. I'm like, oh, you're not just like a jerk. You're like full on this.
But
these are the videos I get sent from people.
I like in
that's
between.
A fun dog one.
Oh, like there's a new one. There's a new
Let's
one.
see that one.
This guy.
It happened, and it happened in our own government. Congressional oversight is a constitutional demand.
What the fuck?
We dedicate our careers to it. I have, at least. And during the course of my
I mean, that is real weird. You're on camera.
past few years, I've never seen some
Oh my God.
Dude, look, it's one eye
One eye
blinks.
blinks.
against my and Senator Johnson's ongoing, as our
Wow.
capacity expressed.
Yeah.
That it's either he's an alien or he's in the K-hole. He just did. Okay.
This whole video is in someone's K-hole.
This whole dimension could be. Let's go back one and see it. How are we doing on time, Josh?
56 minutes.
Okay, cool. We'll wrap it up in a second. I know you got to catch a flight.
I realized I didn't text O'Neill to bring joints to Salt Lake.
Oh shit!
So that's why I had to do that. I was like, fuck, you're on your way to the airport right now. I sent the state to get it. Wait, we never got back to Unbar. Rebar. So the anger of enforcing laws with Dunning-Kruger effect.
Dunning-Kruger effect is a kind of a sidebar. So basically the idea is, this episode of the DTFH has been supported by BetterHelp. It's 2025, my loves. And what do you want this year to be like? What kind of movie do you want to star in this year? You want to be in The Shining or a rom-com? You want to be in some dark, existential, philosophical, nihilistic, boring-ass too long director's cut of a movie that no one ever saw. Or maybe you like to be in a happier film. The point is, you can actually decide which part you want to play. You can decide which movie you want to star in. And a great way to start figuring out how to do that is therapy. Okay, they give me cues. I have to ad-lib on cues. Here's the truth. After I got ball cancer and my mom and dad died, I was a wreck. And like the worst kind of wreck initially, because even though I knew I was like spun, I didn't understand just how much. I still live by the idea that if you sweep things under the rug, sometimes they go away. Or maybe you move out and no one looks under the rug, and then they have to deal with all the weird chicken bones and cat turds you pushed under there. But this doesn't work with the psyche. And of all the things that I have found great results in, from meditation to psychedelics, therapy is right up there with them. In fact, it goes together like peanut butter and jelly. It is not coming for BetterHelp to try psychedelics or meditation. That's from me. But therapy, wow, it's incredible. And what's awesome about BetterHelp is that you can do it all entirely from home. And that is great. Because it's interesting, like with the gym and therapy, you just try to find an excuse to not do it. And BetterHelp really removes a lot of those ways you could trick yourself into not taking care of yourself. With BetterHelp, you access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists with a wide range of specialties. You can easily switch therapists anytime at no extra cost. Write your movie with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/Duncan to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp. HELP.com/Duncan. Thank you, BetterHelp. People like your friend.
Okay. Who's my friend?
The butthurt friend who like came to Texas and thought it'd be LA and then like got his butt hurt. They're operating under this idea, which I think you could argue is noble.
Mm-hmm. I think a certain way.
They want the world to be better. But they haven't questioned whether or not their conceptualization of better is actually better. And so, which is still, even if you're confused, at least you're trying to do some benevolent thing, I guess. Like at some level, there's still in it the basic humanist impulse to help. But if you really wanted to help the world, you would think that prior to engaging in the activity, you would analyze strategy.
What do I do here?
What happens if the way I'm helping not only turns people off, makes them shut down around me, but also paradoxically ends up hurting
my cause,
the people I was trying to help, because now everyone's just pissed off and no one wants to hear my fucking sanctimonious bullshit anymore.
Right. Ever. So then it's like, now even when I have one or someone has one, they're less likely to hear that person.
Right.
Who's doing it nicely. Like, you're on that side with that lunatic. You're like, I guess I am on the side of the lunatic, but I don't have the same tactics as them. You're going to lump me in?
That's it. And I'll tell you, man, this is like, I remember on the left, God help you if you issued an apology, because they would fucking fall on you. That was it, dude. That was like putting your fucking walking stick right in the hornet's nest. God help you if you apologize. They'd be like, they would just devour your ass, right? God help you if you had some view that they looked at as fascist, right-wing, Nazi, and actually analyzed it and said, you know what? I don't know if that was 100% right. Oh, you dumb fuck. Of course you didn't know it's fucking right because your brain is made of fucking mashed potatoes, you dumb shit.
You ever read?
Now, on the right, they're doing the exact same thing. You've got people who are snapping out of whatever the fucking thing, the hypnosis, the years of fucking state-run propaganda, who are like, or feel comfortable.
They go, the left just made promises and never did anything. And I'm like, how's that swamp? Still not drained?
Right.
What are you talking about? They're all doing it.
Dude.
They're all garbage. And you're acting like one side is not a liar.
You have to.
Start looking at your own, too.
Or just.
When are these comics who all went conservative gonna now go, because they're challenging power, because let's attack the left, because that's the powerful one. So now the right's in power. How long? Let them take their victory lap for a couple months.
Yeah.
How long till they go, let's attack the guy in charge, the guy who's making the laws, the right. If the right's in charge now, they're the powerful ones. Now let's shift and fuck with them.
It's a real mess you get into in that situation.
I'd like to see it. I'd like to see what happens.
It's a bit of a mess. But also I think like the good news about being a fool is it's like, I'm dumb. I was wrong. What do you know? I've fallen for this exact same trick. How long have I been alive? How many presidential elections have there been?
Again.
Every time I fucking fall for it. And I never, it's never occurred to me yet that focusing my entire brain on the state is the thing that keeps it going. I don't mean in some manifestation way. I mean, literally the whole goddamn system depends on the majority of people paying any attention to it.
When I don't vote, first it was apathy.
Wait,
and
what?
And then it was math.
Wait, what, Ari? What? Can you play? What?
I don't vote.
I
don't vote. And people go, well, then what are you doing? You're not going to help it. I'm like, you're not also helping it. You're voting in a state that's already decided. Even if it's a swing state, one vote mathematically ain't going to change anything. And that one state, even if your vote came down to change Pennsylvania, wouldn't have changed anything from the last election.
All right. Well,
So you do. And people are like, then how is not voting helping?
You know, Hitler lost by one vote.
Oh, really? He lost. He won by one vote.
I mean, won by one vote.
I stayed home that day. Should have fucking. And even if you don't, when you don't vote because you're like, these guys are all trash, then you eventually get disillusioned with all of it, and you form a new system. Dude. If you don't like the Oscars or Oscars so white or whatever, we'll just get a fucking new award show. They don't run it. They only run it because you want them to run it.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think there's
also, my whole special job right now is ignore all that stuff.
Say that again?
My whole special is all about that. Ignore all that. Focus on positivity. Ignore all that. All this negative stuff you're focusing on, you're not going to help it. Now you're just swamped in this negative shit that doesn't help. You're just feeling bad.
Okay, but
it's watching car wreck videos all day.
Dude, Ari, it gets even more intense than that. It gets even more intense than that and taking the next level. All right, Ari, you're on the trail. You're getting there. You've been red pilled. I see that. You're waking up. You're part of the Great Awakening. But you have to understand, we have begun to understand that it is microtubules within the neurons of the human brain, a quantum vacuum that collapses from a superposition into whatever you happen to be focusing on, meaning that groups of people when focused on the exact same phenomena crystallize and concretize that. Schrodinger's cat. Is it dead? Is it alive? It depends on what the news says. If the news says the cat's alive, the cat's alive. If the news says the cat's dead, it's dead. Don't you understand? All of mainstream legacy media has divided the human attention span, which is the outflow source of the creative mind of God, and directs it into catastrophe and horror so that they can feed on our loose energy.
Can I tell you my new character?
Yeah.
You know who Russell Simmons is?
Yeah.
Okay. It's Trussell Simmons. Yo, man. It's pretty racist, but yo, man, infinity is really in our minds.
Well, he sounds, Trussell Simmons sounds like a wonderful person, and I would like to have them on my podcast. I like Trussell Simmons. He's great. I love that character.
Okay. I just thought of it yesterday. Someone saying Russell Simmons.
Well, it's great.
That's all it took. I can build on it for a while.
I'm honored.
You can take it too. You can do your Trussell Simmons.
No, I don't need to
I've got a fan base to lose.
Dude,
wait. So go ahead.
So, all I'm saying is the problem is that we're getting funneled into certain reality tunnels by a priest class that wears suits and talks in a hypnotic, repetitive way that keeps.
And we all mimic them.
And because
and they tell us to fight, and we fight.
Yeah, That's it.
Way to handle it. Stop them. What did they say? Resist them at all turns. Fight them at everything they do.
Who said that?
I think like Alexandra Cortez-Cortazio.
Did she really say that?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Something along those lines. And it's like, okay, but what if they're trying to like repave the streets in your neighborhood?
Yeah.
If they're doing some stuff that they do, that you have to have some stuff they're doing that you like, right? They are still funneling money to schools.
I think the first step is you just have to find a way to pull the demiurge's cock out of your mouth. Stop like filleting the zeitgeist, which isn't even real anymore. I mean, that's the whole fucking feeling of nausea in the culture right now is because of all these alternative forms of media. The spell is being broken or at least diffused. So now there's all these other reality tunnels springing up that people are getting channeled into, and it just dilutes all of them, and it forces you to recognize that reality as we understand it is a lie told to us by the Anunnaki.
Yeah. But they really believe that. It's like the ones who bomb an abortion clinic because they're like, that's a human life. You're killing a baby. And it's like, oh, yeah, you should bomb it. Or the guy who went in Pizzagate with a gun. It's like, you have hostage children. If what's in his head is true, he's doing the right thing.
Right.
And if they think the current president or the about to be president is literally Hitler, then yeah, you can't perform jokes at his rally.
Right.
But he's like, well, no, is it misunderstood jokes? Like, you're trying to get Hitler back in office. So then it's like, oh, right. If you really think they're all literal, what you think is fascists instead of like figurative, and then they caught up to what that is.
So sad.
Yeah, you upped it to fascism, and then you're like, well, I know what fascism. It's like, you are Hitler. You are a Nazi. I'm a Nazi 20 times over. And so then it's like, oh, well, then, yeah, I guess you have to like, yeah, punch me.
Yeah,
you should.
But
Yeah.
it's like you're punching me over fucking Star Wars. It's like,
Yeah.
you fucking like Darth Vader, bam! Darth Vader is evil.
Yeah.
And so if you really want to see the reality of it, watch any of these people prior to the election.
Yeah.
They're up there. This person is the devil incarnate. I saw his hands. They've got pentagrams on it. And then, as soon as the election's over, look at like
They're all
Obama
talking.
and Trump laughing it up because that's who they really are.
And they really
They're
only found out
pals.
a few social issues, but they both want the same thing for the United States of America to have dominance and to have plenty for their people. That's what they really want, both of them. So they're like, how do we get that? I'm pulling out of that cord.
Access to adrenochrome.
Yeah, that's the social stuff. I think it should be mandatory. I think we should steal it. No, we got to take it. We got to make them agree to it.
Well, we can genetically engineer it. We can synthesize it. We don't need to extract it like that anymore. Oh, listen to you. Oh, really? You want synthetic fucking adrenochrome? That shit gives me gas. Ari, thanks for coming on the show, man.
Yeah, buddy.
What show are you doing next?
I'm leaving. I'm going to meet O'Neill for skiing.
Nice.
My new special's out, America's Sweetheart.
Hell yeah, you are that.
I think you're in the credits.
Yay. Why?
It was just focusing on positivity.
Thank you.
Have these shirts available? But
those are cool.
But it's just all about that. And so the credits, I just like listed a bunch of things that I should focus on that make me happy.
Nice.
Some musicians, and I'm like, here's some comedians that are funny that you should know
Thank you, Ari.
about.
Well, you are America's sweetheart.
But now if I'm like, oh wait, was that the first draft? I hope I didn't take you out of that. Because the first one was like 600 long, and I'm like, they'll just. So I had to shorten it. God, I hope you're in there now. Fuck.
Well, that's a good way to get your friend to watch your fucking special.
All the way to the end.
All right, man. Thanks.
Yeah,
dude.
I'm
You're
on the
best.
road now too. Farewell to
Wait, where are you going? Wait.
All over the place, Atlanta, all over the place, wherever you are. AriShaffir.com, Atlanta, Nashville, Portland, San Jose, San Antonio, Calgary, Edmonton, Vancouver, Seattle, Portland, Atlanta, Denver, Tampa, Brea, and so forth.
Tell me about your podcast. What's the name of it?
You Be Trippin'.
Okay, guys, You Be
Start
Trippin'.
with Duncan's episode.
Yeah, watch that one. And if you want to do something hilarious that Ari thinks is funny, any sponsor that pops up on his show, use offer code Duncan 99% of the time. It'll work for me.
That is true. It's an overlap. That's a good sabotage. You just sieve it like the fucking LA River. Sorry, Colorado. I shouldn't have been so thirsty.
Thanks, Ari. You're the best.
Everybody, I love you.
Love you.